Hi, this is Lister, and welcome to a little tutorial I'm putting together. I'm doing this because we've had a few requests about the mob grinder that I built on Dan's Skyblock world, Skyblock 1.11, and this has got no water in it. Obviously on this map you start with just the birch tree and I think there's a couple of things in the chest. There we go. Knockback stick, a torch, a cookie, and a couple of spawn skeleton chicken eggs. And that's all you get. So all you can do is grow the trees and you've got wood. And that's about it, really. So you need mob drops and you need a mob grinder for that. So I put together this, I used it in my switcher map, not my switcher map, Dan's switcher map that I did a little let's play on. And it's based on somebody else's design, but I kind of refined it because it wasn't working very well, the first one I built. So yeah, it uses no water. It uses the mob's own pathfinding to basically walk off the edge, and we do that with buttons. You could use signs, you could use trapdoors, things like that, but buttons are the cheapest thing because it's one plank to one button. So it's quite cheap to make, and you need a lot. So buttons is the best way to go. And they basically just walk off the edge. And it's built in a funnel design, so they'll start high up and they'll come down and down and down each level until they drop down the tube. And you can kill them or they die. I'm going to be building this one with a drop of 24, might even do 25. Basically, we want to make sure that the creepers die and your basic mobs die. But anything with armour we want to kill so that we can get their drops, their armour drops, their iron weapons, things like that, because those things can be smelted down. So that's the whole point of the waterless mob grinder, and that's what I'm going to put together for you. Right, so we've got a few bits and pieces together. We've got some planks, some slabs, some buttons, some ladders so you can tower up and get back down again, and a wooden axe. And we've also got some trapdoors, because what I normally do at the bottom is I put trapdoors, because the base of the tube, the drop tube, is going to be 3x3, and you need to be able to get at the drops. And of course, you can get the ones around the outside, but there's always those in the middle that you can't reach. So I use the trapdoors so that you can open the trapdoor and nip in and get it, and nip back out and close the trapdoor. So I'll show you that later on, but first of all, I'm going to build a walkway. I'm going to kind of do this. I'm in creative, but I'm going to do it as though I was survival. So I'm going to build a walkway out. I normally go out about 36 blocks because I want the front edge of the mob grinder to be at least 24 blocks away and the back edge to be less than 48 blocks, because that's the sweet spot. Obviously, with 1.11, we now have different mob spawning. They actually spawn in a sphere around the player within 24 and inside 48 blocks. So that's how far away it needs to be from where you're going to be. And obviously we're going to be on this island chopping down trees and grinding away. So that's the idea. So yeah, that's the first thing to do, is to make ourselves a little walkway. I always use bottom slabs because that way you don't have to worry about mob spawning. So start with the bottom slab like that, and I've put the coordinates on, so the center is 1000 1000, so we know how far away we need to be for the mob grinder. So we want to be out past 1036. Right, so I've gone out to 1044. There's the island over there, and we're going to make ourselves a little platform. It was still outside 36, so when the grinder is built, where's 24 going to be? It's going to be over here somewhere. There we go. So the grinder itself isn't going to be past this point. It's going to be over there. So at least we've got that bit covered. Right, so I'm just going to build this platform here. I normally do it 7x7. we go. 7x7 platform. Right in the middle. There we go. Lovely. Okay, so now we need to go up, and the center is 3x3. So if I'm right in the center, which is going to be, yep, that's right in the center there. So the 3x3 drop tube is going to be around me, like that. So what I need to do is put some slabs on here in the corners, because the tube is going to be outside. So the center is 3x3, as you can see, and the walls will go up. So I'm going to switch to blocks, planks, if you will, and I want to be able to get underneath to collect the drops and things like that. So you can see I've got a 2 block height there. There will be slabs there, like that, so that I can get underneath and collect the drops. But when the mobs fall, if it's a baby villager or baby zombie villager or something like that, it can't get me because of the half slab. So we're starting with the, let me get in the middle there. Ooh, can I get it? Also, I want to try and do this as authentically as possible, as though you're in survival, so that's why I'm doing it this way rather than flying. Put in these slabs, like so. Same over here, all the way around. So you've got a ring, and you know that you'll be able to get underneath there. And if I drop down, you can walk underneath. So when you come to collect the kill the mobs, you kill the mobs, and you can collect the drops like that. All right. There we go, and drop down again. Right. So I'm not in fly mode. Look, I'm just walking around. Right. So yeah, that's the starter ring. So now we need to go up 24 levels, and what I usually do is I usually have in my inventory 24 ladders, so that I know when I run out of ladders I've got to the top. That's the best way to do it. Anyway, I'm going to crack on with this, and I'll see you shortly. Okay, now there we go. We're 24 blocks high, and we've got ladders all the way up there, so that we can get down easily without killing ourselves, having to drop down. Now the next thing to do is to start the first platform, which we're going to do by extending out this top ring by an extra block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically just go around the outside and add an extra layer so it's too wide the whole way round. And that will give us our first spawning platform all the way around, like that. So it's, as you can see, too wide all the way around. And that is our bottom layer. Once they walk off here, they're going to walk down into and drop into that tube and either die or be on a one-hit kill. You could basically just slap them with your hand and they would die. Unless they've got some armour on, of course. But yeah, that's what we're after. So we're going to carry on and build the next part, which is going to be the walls. So from here, we need to do a little wall area. So let's bring it up. I'm going to get rid of that one just for neatness. And build a wall around the outside. And it does need to be 3 high. If I jump up and that one, we need to put one there as well. Jump. And we need to come up one more. Ooh, not that far. Get rid of that one. There we go. So we've got a 3 high wall, and that will allow mobs to drop and drop down onto the next one. Now I suppose we could actually put the buttons on, because what we need to do, this needs to be all the way around, but I'm just going to show you what we're going to do, is the buttons go on the outside. You'll have one where the ladder is there, and also on that side, like that. And mobs see that as a full block, and they'll walk over the edge and drop down. And you also need to do the same on that wall there. So every top wall needs to have buttons on it, like that. And then the next layer will be higher up. So I'm going to finish off these walls, and then we'll move on. Right, so there's the next layer. Pretty much up to the walls anyway for the next, this is with the next spawning layer here. So obviously they'll spawn down there and drop straight down, or they'll spawn on this next one and step down and then walk up and die. So we're going to carry on with this next layer, and obviously we'll do the same again. We're going to make it 2 wide all the way around. There we go. So this is going to be the next spawning platform, and we're going to do the same again. We're going to put walls around the outside, and then we'll go up to the next layer. Then things change slightly, but I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so here we are again up at the next level, and you can start to see how it got its name. It's sort of turned into a bit of a funnel. So we're going to put buttons all the way around the outside here. And what we're also going to do now, this is where it changes up slightly, and I'll explain why it does it this, is we're going to come up 3 and put 1 there and then get rid of those. You would probably bridge out from the side, I suppose, to do this as well. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to put in another layer in the center here. So if I do that, and this is going to be the same size as that hole down there, and the point of this is to increase your spawning capacity. So you'll have another spawning platform in the center as well as around the outside, and this is how it makes it so effective. So I'm going to put the extra the extra layer around the outside, because obviously we still want it to be 2 wide, and also the one in the center. So I'll quickly do that. There we go. So that's the next level done, and you can see I've put buttons all the way around the outside of the center island as well. But what we're also going to do here, if you can just see below, you can see the drop tube. What we're actually going to do is I'm going to take out the center of the spawning platform, so that anything that's on this center one can drop down the center as well, and it will get out of the funnel quicker. And the quicker you get them out of the funnel, the quicker more things can spawn up here. So that's the whole point of this, is that they can drop straight down and disappear, and they can funnel in from the outside as well. So it makes it doubly effective. Right, so I'm going to put some walls on this thing, and we're going to go up another couple of layers, and then we'll give it a test and see how effective it is. Now what I've done with this next layer is I've gone over the troughs of the layer below, and this is how you maximize your spawning platforms, is to do them in rings. As long as you've got that 2 gap in between and buttons all the way around, the mobs will walk off, because it looks like a completely flat surface. It's like there's no holes there at all, so they'll just walk straight across and drop down. Now, the reason we haven't done one on the bottom layer, this little center island, I'll show you that if I drop down here and drop down here, because you will get Endermen spawning in this, and they will teleport around. So here it's only too high, as you can see. I can only just fit underneath, so all mobs will get in here except Endermen. But this last layer, they can teleport down here, and it's more than too high, so they can walk off the edge. And you will get Endermen down there as well. They will be down there. But that's the whole point of this. We maximise as much as we can. I used to have a centre island in here, and the Endermen just teleport around and stop, and they don't fall. So that's why we took out this centre island, as you see up there. That one isn't here, so the Enderman can walk off and drop down in the bottom. They're not a one-hit kill, but it's only like 2 or 3 swipes of a sword, and if the rest of your island is lower slabs, they've got nowhere else to go, so they're usually an easy kill. Anyway, right, let me get back up to the top. Okay, there we go. So yes, we're going to put a wall around this, and then I think we'll do it at this. You can go higher, you can go with more layers. If you look, we're up at 105, and I can't remember what the island is, and I can't remember where the island is. Ah, there it is. Right, let me just drop down to the island. If we were at 105, this is at 70. So we're still only 35 up. So you could go higher. See that lovely shape? I love that shape. You could go quite a bit higher because you can go up to 48. So 48 on 68, 70, sorry. So you could go and you'd probably get away with another 2 layers. The outer topper layer up near 48 would be less effective because you would get less spawns on the outer edges of that bubble. So just bear that in mind when you're building it. Bigger isn't always better. Go up to your limits, but that top layer is going to be huge. So it will take a lot of resources, but it won't give you that many spawns. So just bear that in mind. Right, I'm going to put a wall around this, and then we'll put the roof on it. Right, well, we've nearly finished the roof. That's the top layer on. I've just left a hole so I can drop back in again. But what we also need to do, because we haven't got torches, we don't want things spawning up here. So that's why we use the slabs. Obviously, you can't build with slabs because you need to put buttons on the edges, and you can't do that with slabs. So it does have to be planks, I'm afraid. But we're going to slab the top just to make sure that nothing spawns up here. So I'm just going to get on and do that. And then we'll make our way down through the hole, and I'll show you each layer as we go. And then we'll try it out. Right, so just the last little hole so we can drop down and we can finish the roof off. I'll just drop down here, and it's going to get pretty dark in here in a second, so just bear with me. If I put the slab on first and then the plank, there we go, it goes very dark in here. Hopefully you can still see the layers, but so yeah, it's all too high, and there's buttons. Ooh, I didn't put buttons here. See, this is why it's worth checking, because you might forget to do something, just like I did. So we have a walk around as we're coming down again. Obviously, we're within 24 blocks of all these spawning areas, so nothing can spawn up here yet. So we're perfectly safe. And this one here, I'm looking at the outside as I'm doing it. And make sure you get every single block so you don't waste any opportunity of mobs spawning. Yeah, that's covered. That's all that side. It's same with the inside and the inside. Up there, yeah, I can see them. All the way around the outside. You can see all these lovely buttons. It looks to the mobs like these are completely flat platforms. So they can just walk off and just walk across at will, like that, and then end up dropping all the way down. Right, so the last thing we need to do now is get down the ladder. This is where you want your trusty axe. Don't bring a rubbish one, because if you stop part way, you're going to be in trouble. So we'll just get onto the top of the ladder. Hang on. Oh, no, come on. That's it. So you can stand on the top of the ladder like that. I'm actually standing on that. I'm not crouched at all. I'll just show you that. See, I'm not crouched. I'm actually standing on the top of the ladder. And then we're just going to break them as we go down. Obviously in survival that will take a bit longer, but that's basically it. There we go, and we hit the bottom. And would you believe it, it's raining again. Let me just deal with that. You can tell it's a down map. It's rained almost every time. It's getting ridiculous. I think that's the third time I've changed it. Look at that, yeah. Third time I've had to change it to clear, because it keeps raining. So now there's nothing going to spawn there at the moment because I'm actually in peaceful mode. I wanted to get this done. So let me finish off this platform. I'm actually going to make it a little bit wider, I think, because it's just a bit narrow going around the outside. So I'm just going to make this platform a bit wider so that when we go into survival mode, we don't fall off the edge. Okay, now in the center here, this is where the mobs are going to drop. We've got the slabs here. So what we need to do is you'll have to put in a plank. And then what we want is the trapdoor, like that. And get rid of that one. And then if you crouch, I'm going to... Let me see. I've put that one wrong, I think, because I'm trying to think about how I would access these. I might be able to get away with it, actually, if I put that one there, so that when I open it, it flaps down. So then you can dive in like that and collect drops. So I'm going to do them all like that. The center one doesn't really matter because you won't actually open the center one. It's just so that you can get access to it. So that again, you can run in and then close it again. I usually make a habit of whichever side I'm on, that's where I put that trapdoor, so I can do the same thing on all sides. And just go around the front, do this one, like so. So then wherever you are, you can dive in, click the drops, and dive out again. Right, that's pretty much it. That is the mob grinder done. So what we need to do now, if I just come over here, and we will switch it across to survival mode. There we go. Doesn't it look beautiful? I do like that. It's a lovely shape. Like I say, you could get one more layer on top that would be effective, but after that, it's a huge amount of resources. As you can see, there's a lot of wood in that already. I haven't counted how many blocks it is because it's hundreds and hundreds, but you need quite a bit. A regular water mob grinder, you want, I think it's 25 stacks. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a similar amount. So make sure you grind these trees out because you're going to need a lot of them. And before you build this, because you want to build it in one go. Once it's dark, remember you've got no torches, so you need to do it in one go, and then come back down, and then it's working. So yeah, let's switch it into survival mode. We're going to go into the game settings, and we're going to go survival, survival, and we're going to go to hard mode and resume the game. So now we're in survival mode. As you can see, we've got hearts, and we should see some drops, hopefully pretty soon anyway. They'll take a minute or two because obviously some of them will spawn higher up and work their way down, but some of them might spawn lower down and then drop straight away. So hopefully we might see some drops pretty soon. Let's have a look. I don't want to go too close because I'm obviously wary of that spawning bubble. It's around the player, so it's obviously a moving perimeter. So I'm still about 24 blocks away from most of those spawning areas up there. So we should be okay about here, but I'd like to think that we would get some drops pretty soon. There we go. Did you see that? There's something, I think it's probably a spider. Look, yeah, and you can see him working his way down. Just glitching through the block a little bit, isn't he? Oh, there we go. We got our first drops. I think we got a zombie and a skeleton. We did indeed. Now, obviously, you do have to be careful. There was another zombie. Excellent. You do have to be careful of creepers. Sometimes mobs will land on other mobs, so they won't die. So creepers, if you get close enough, like here. Oh, he's got... Is that a witch? Oh, now that is quite fortunate. That is a pillager. We've actually got a pillager in our mob grinder. That is fantastic. That really is great. And he's not happy, is he? He's really not happy. Obviously the spiders as well, they can save themselves, so you have to be careful of them. Try and hit them. I want to get this guy out of the way first, I think. There we go. And we got Bad Omen. Because it's a captain, we can get Bad Omen. And we can get raids appearing. No, we don't want a raid at the minute, because that would be rather dangerous. But spider. Lovely. And look at these drops already. See, that was a creeper. At least he died. This one being 24. I mean, it's 24 to that layer. So it's 25, effectively, to the trapdoors. Is that another one? It was. And we got his crossbow that time. Excellent. You can get some fantastic loot on doing this. You really can. There we go. That's particles. That's 100 minutes of particles there. That's really annoying, isn't it? Anyway, there's another one. I think they're spawning up there because I've got the bad omen, which is brilliant because we can get some emeralds from these guys, amongst other things. Now I'm trying to... Come on then. You got nothing. Oh, he died. Yeah, so some of these are in the centre and we can't quite get at them. So what I'm going to do is open the trapdoor, dive in and close it again. And then we get all the drops. Let's go around the outside for that one. There we go. So that is pretty much it. As you can see, it's it's working really effectively. Even just standing here, they are actually spawning up the top and dropping down. So you can be quite close to it, and you can also be over on your island, and it will work really well. So there you go. That's how it's built. That's how it works. You can see the shadows up there. There's a few mobs up there. Really effective. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Enjoy the drops, and look at what we've got already. It's going really well. Yeah, we've got the crossbow, arrows. So you're going to need plenty of arrows for fighting the mobs. String, the bones. You've got the bone chickens anyway, but that's helpful as well. So you don't have loads of chickens on your island. The rotten flesh. These are all future trades. Once you get later on down the line, you'll be trading these with your villagers that you have on your island. So you collect every drop you can because it's valuable. But there we go, a waterless mob grinder. Absolutely no water in it whatsoever, but totally effective. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.